Hello everybody, we are back in SA if you haven't seen.
I look a lot better than I did in our previous video.
Yeah, even me. Yeah, what a roller coaster ride it's been. The coronavirus got very serious very quickly. So we promised we were going to show you guys some of our trip and some of the highlights and all that kind of stuff. But we just wanted to mention that we didn't take this lightly, and I think we could have done better timing with our holiday. But who knew that there was going to be
there was no way we could have avoided it.
Yeah.
So we delayed bringing our vlog out to the public, our travel vlog, just until we got our test results, because obviously our vlog came to an abrupt end. We had to decide on the last minute whether we were staying or not, because the airports were starting to get shut down and locked down, and our hotel in Vegas, which would have been our next stop, was already in lockdown. And we were fighting at the time with our travel agent, because the travel agent was in denial, and so if we'd carried on to Vegas, we would have had nowhere to stay in Vegas, and if we'd stayed any longer in New York, we would have been stuck in New York. And so we were stuck with making the decision on whether we rent an Airbnb in New York and wait for it to blow over, or whether we book a plane ticket and come back. And so literally within a matter of hours we had to make the decision, and so we made the decision to come home. And on the last minute we changed our layover flight in Dubai to like an immediate flight without any layover time, and which we met up with Amber, which was awesome. But had we not done that, we probably would have then been stuck in Dubai.
Yeah.
We got back to South Africa, got home, and immediately had to rush out to one of the drive-through testing sites, because we'd come from New York. It was a high-risk area, and it took about a week or so for you and Amber to get your results.
4 days.
4 days, and they were in the clear. Mine, for some reason, was collected in a separate batch and tested in a separate batch, so I literally only got my results back about 3 days ago now.
Yeah.
So luckily we're all clear, and we knew we were clear, but we just wanted to confirm it before actually bringing out our vlog. So the intention behind the vlog is to not be insensitive or make light of the situation. This coronavirus couldn't have been predicted in any way, and so we were dealt a card where we'd spent a lot of money on this holiday, and we didn't think it was going to escalate as quickly as what it did, or to the scale that it had.
Yeah, definitely not.
And you'll even see in the vlog, our vlog is very affected. We're constantly speaking about our awareness of the situation and how it affected our travel. But for the 4 days that we were there, at the time when we started, we didn't know how long we were going to be there, and we just made the best of what we'd been dealt. It was still a trip. We'd still had the opportunity to go to the States, and so even though it got very abruptly, very quickly cut short, we did try and make the best of it. Yeah. We saw as many things as we could. We laughed, we made jokes, and so understand our hearts was not to be insensitive or make light of the situation. We take the situation very seriously. We ourselves are back home with our kids now.
Thank goodness for that. It's so good to be back with our kids. We really missed them, and obviously when we got back now and we were in isolation, it was tough. They were literally just down the road, but we couldn't see them.
Yeah.
So that was difficult, but now in self-quarantine, under lockdown.
Yeah, well, now we're in lockdown. Jared has had to go out to work, but always keeping in mind all the things that have been put in place, wearing masks and gloves, keeping social distancing a thing. We've put together a family schedule. Every day the house gets cleaned and sterilized every day. So we are taking it very seriously, but we didn't want to withhold our experience in the States either, because so many of you had asked us to record it, and we posted pictures on the daily as we could. Yeah. But you know, even for ourselves, the memories of having a vlog, you know, we can show our children's. The vlog has been, I've had to split it up into parts, just because crazy that we were there for 4 days, but we managed to get enough footage to make it really long. And so for the sake of everyone not getting bored and having other things to do, I've split it up into parts. So I will post a part. I don't know yet quite yet how many parts we're expecting.
Maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3 parts. This is part 1. Keep tuned. I will upload part 2 and 3 as they come available, hopefully in the next day or 2, and then we'll see you again at the end. In the lounge of the Emirates Lounge. We've just had breakfast, heading out in 10 minutes to the exchange and then to get on the aeroplane. We're excited despite the coronavirus issues, but it'll be an adventure either way, especially since we don't know what it's holding for us coming.
Totally.
I'm just loving the fact that my husband now gets to be a germaphobe like me.
Yeah, it's a different experience completely, but I'm enjoying it. There's some concerns today in the news that a lot of people from the US traveling back to SA have contracted the virus, but luckily we're all healed in Jesus' name, so we not
Praying
too
Psalm
stressed.
91 over ourselves.
Just keep our hands washed and don't touch your face.
And we know that we're covered in prayer. We've been getting amazing messages all morning from members of the church and friends and family, all praying for safe travels. So we know we're covered. We're okay.
Yeah, but we're excited for our holiday. It's been a long time coming, and off to Dubai and then to New York.
Yeah.
So we'll arrive literally 24 hours from now in New York. So quite a flight.
So we landed about how long ago?
40 minutes ago.
40 minutes ago in Dubai. So we're sitting in the lounge now, relaxing a little bit, stretching our legs before we head to the next gate for a 14-hour flight to New York. Wasn't a bad trip in business class, was it now?
No, it wasn't too bad, but it is our longest flight ever. So, and now we're going to do a 14-hour one, which is an extra 6 hours longer than the one we just had.
And I'm struggling to understand that we're in a new time zone.
Yeah, wait till America, but. Everybody, it is 2:30 a.m. My wife and I just woke up about 20 minutes ago. We're feeling terrible at the moment. We were supposed to meet up with my friend Mark for dinner last night, and we slept. We literally just slept. That's all we did. We slept. 1 minute we were watching the Trump address about putting America in a state of emergency. The next minute we woke up and it was like 1:55 in the morning. Part of the fun, I guess, of traveling and
Terrible friends. We are
Yeah.
terrible friends.
Jet lag and
Don't be friends with us. So a lot has happened since we last updated the vlog. So we first got on our first flight yesterday and had an incident where we had a gentleman come and sit next to us. It caused a little bit of disruption in the flight before we even left, and they eventually pulled him off the flight, and the head supervising the flight attendant came to apologize to us for the disruption, but they didn't know where he came from. They don't know how he got on the flight. He shouldn't have been there. So that was a bit freaked out, because obviously your mind starts reeling. You can't accuse him of one thing or the other, but I mean,
yeah, he was dodgy.
he was dodgy. So praise the Lord, we were safe from anything that may or may not have been. So when we got to America, to get through the border control
Ah, yes.
was quite interesting.
Yes.
So we're trying our best to stay safe. We've got our hand sanitizer, we've got wet wipes to wipe down all our luggage. We try not to touch anything as far as possible, and trying to keep our distance from people. And so we get off the plane and we land up in customs, and we've got to get this little slip in order to go through border control. And we were like, what, about 400 sardines?
Yeah.
Everyone was literally just shoving their way through and like on top of us.
Pushing us. And
So coupled with, like, I just completely anxiety was on super high alert, and claustrophobia started setting in, but thankfully we eventually got through that. But what I don't understand is America being in this, I mean, at that point they were waiting for President Donald Trump to announce that America's in a state of emergency with this coronavirus. But then in order to get into the country, there's this machine where you got to, like, it takes your fingerprints and so on. So everybody is touching the exact same piece of glass.
yeah.
Like 400 people, one after the other. That just didn't make sense to me. So, but yeah, we've done our best to try and avoid situations and that. We got through okay
That
thereafter.
was an awkwardly timed cough. But let me give you a bit of a thing, this coronavirus and all of that. So we're here, and New York is quiet. Besides it being 2:30 a.m., but I mean, just in general, it took us about half an hour, 40 minutes to get to the hotel. Central Park was quiet, not a lot of people. You wouldn't say this is the busiest city in the world,
Yeah.
Most people are sitting in home. We had planned for a big Broadway show tonight.
Yeah.
Bought the tickets and everything, and all Broadway shows are now cancelled. Now everything's cancelled. So we're on holiday with everything cancelled.
Reading, we were told, Amber told us just before we landed, I think
Yeah.
it was, that Reading's pretty much shut down. So there's no church services. Apparently all the grocery shops, everything are sold out. So we might not be going to Reading after all, just because we don't know if there's much of a point to going if nobody's even around. The shops are empty, the church isn't happening. It's a really small city as it is. So we wanted to go for Bethel and to see Amber, and Amber might even be flying home sooner. So dependent on that is we might change our trip a little bit.
Try and go to a place that's not stopped.
That hasn't stopped completely, and that we can still see. I think a lot of our holiday will end up being more sightseeing than adventure and experience, just because the places where large groups are coming together is the main worry. As Jared said, Broadway is now cancelled. We're worried that Universal Studios might be cancelled. Is it cancelled?
It's cancelled.
Universal Studios is cancelled and shutting down. So it's a real bummer, because we were really excited for these things. We'd already booked and paid for things. The other big one, that we were going to do a helicopter flight over the Grand Canyon, like a whole day flight through the Grand Canyon.
It's still on at the moment.
Yeah, still on at the moment, I think, because it's smaller groups, but it could very well change in the next couple of days before we could get there. But either way, we have promised that we are going to make the best of the situation. We're going to make the best of the trip. So even if it is just sightseeing, And even if we do get told that we've got to stay in our rooms for a couple days, we'll enjoy it because we're blessed enough to have the experience that many others don't. So we'll bring you along on whatever the experience is and whatever the adventure is.
But I'm sitting here at a 180-degree view of Manhattan and Central Park. It is an absolute dream come true. It is beautiful. New York, so far the guys are very friendly and everybody seems very nice and all of that kind of stuff. But I think tomorrow or later today, we're going to experience proper New York, you know.
Yeah.
We're going to meet up with Mark, we're going to go for morning bagels.
Later today, that is.
Yeah, this morning. Yeah, like 3-4 hours away. Go for bagels and all of that. So yeah, it's going to be like that.
So we're all ready. And we've come to the little shopping mall. Got our coffee over here. So we don't know what today holds. Probably some sightseeing. We've been told that the shop's only open at 10 here. And it is karaoke. 8. Half past 8, quarter to 9. So we'll keep you posted. We are supposed to be going for breakfast with Mark, but we have no signal, so we don't want to go away from our hotel. So we're just randomly standing across the road from our hotel, taking in the scenery and waiting for Mark to get hold of us so we can go and have breakfast.
I'm sure we're gonna go to him now. Okay, let's go, babe.
World Trade Center.
Yeah, but what's the M? Monument.
Memorial.
Something. But it's quite a weird feeling. Everybody's like excited to be here.
Yeah, there's definitely a weight in the air all these years later. What's it,
19 years later.
They've got part of the one structure still here and it's super rusted.
Yeah.
And behind us over there is the memorial site where they've got people's names etched into it. There's a big hole in the ground.
It's you can say it was the one day that the whole world stood still.
Yeah.
And that was there right there by that moment. Trying to imagine being at
what happened,
yeah.
The clouds of smoke, the airplane flying through the buildings, people running, the fear on people's faces.
Totally.
There's definitely a heaviness in the air here. Right next to the Hudson.
Yeah.
And we're just taking in here, we're remembering the flight that crashed into the Hudson.
Yeah.
But the skyline alone from this side is really pretty.
It was Tom Hanks' punt,
Yeah, and you can see the Statue of Liberty way in the distance over there somewhere. She seems really, really far from here. But she does look smaller in real life than what either of us
imagined.
imagined. We're right here by the ferries. Don't know if we're going to catch a ferry today. Just doing a lot of sightseeing today. But yeah, we're in New York. This is New York.
This is New York.